Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this channel I upload sewing tutorial, pattern drafting and DIY. So please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please join the family, subscribe, turn on the post notification so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave your comment down below. If you have any question to ask me, just leave it down below. And don't forget to also subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Perfect Fit Craft. That channel is really amazing. You're going to learn a lot of wonderful things on that channel. So let's get started. So this is the fabric I'll be using, and this is my pattern paper, the brown one. You can use the white, but I decided to use this particular color, the brown pattern paper. So I'll keep the fabric for now. So the length of the jacket I'll be making is 60 inches, and my hip measurement is 54 inches. When you divide it by 4, I have 13 inches. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be joining the pattern paper. I will join it to get the length, which is 60 inches, and I'll also join it to get my hip measurement when it's divided into 4. So let's get started. What I will do now, I will join this part to complete my length, and I also join the one for the back. I'll be using my UHU glue to join it. As you can see, you also notice that I joined this part. You can see I joined this part of the paper. I joined this part. Why? Because of my hip measurement. My measurement is 54. When I divide it by 4, I have 13. So I'll be adding extra 2 inches. I don't want it to be wide. I don't want it to be fitted. So I'll be adding extra 2 inches. So my shoulder is 16 inches. When I divide it by 2, I have 8. So I'll mark out my 8 inches here. For the neck, I'll be using 4 inches. On this part, I'll measure down 1 inch. Then connect it to meet this 4 inches here. Then from this point, I'll measure down 7 inches here. So on this part, I'll be placing my bust line measurement. So my bust measurement is 45. When I divide it by 4, I have 11.25. Just fold your tape into 2. Just fold your tape into 4. You get your measurement. So I'll be adding extra 2 inches. I want it to be free. I'll just add extra 2 inches to it on this part. I'll get the midpoint here, which is 3.5. Come in by half an inch. Then I'll connect the line. I'll connect the point. Starting, I will measure down my hip measurement, which is 26 inches. Like I said, for an average size, 24 inches works for average size. From 24, 25, 26 works for average size. So if you don't want to use this pattern, just measure down your waist measurement. So my waist measurement is 19. So from this 19 inches, you can decide to measure down 9 inches to get your hip. For somebody that is tall, you can use 9 inches. For average size, you can use 8 or 7 inches. But I want to use 26 inches. It works for me. So my hip measurement is, I'll be working only with the bust and the hip measurement. On this part, I don't really need to start drawing the curve on this part. So just the hip and the bust. So that's what I'll be working with. The hip measurement, the bust, then the full length of the dress, then your shoulder measurement. So for the hip line, my hip measurement is 54. When I divide it by 4, I have 13. So this is the 13 inches. So I'll be adding extra 2 inches to it. So depending on what you want. So extra 2 inches. So everything I have here now is 15 inches. So I'll connect from this line to that 15 inches. So this is the hip measurement. So the measurement I have for the hip, the same measurement I have for the hip, that's what I will take all the way down. So I will take the same measurement on this part, then rule it straight down. So for the neckline, I'll be using 5 inches, 5 inches by 4 inches. So I'll draw the curve. Then for the back neckline, because I'll be using this pattern paper to cut out the back, so I don't want to start drawing anything at the back. So I'll be using what I have here to cut out the back. So for the back neckline, I'll be using 2 inches. You can use any neckline of your choice. I'll be using 2 inches. Neckline for the back and this for the front. So let me cut out this excess. So now the next thing we are going to do is to draw out the lines. I'll draw out 2 inches like this all the way down. Then after that, I'll also draw out 2 inches like this. So I'll measure out 2 inches like this. I'll measure out another 2 inches. You have to take your time to do this. So this is it. I've opened it up. So I'll measure down 2 inches. Remember, this is the center front. So this is the center front. I'll measure down 2 inches all the way down, then I'll rule it straight down. So this is going to take some time. But just take your time to do it. Then you go down again, measure out 2 inches like this. Then you use your straight ruler to connect it all the way down. So this So this is the front. As you can see, I've drawn out the lines. I use my pencil to draw out the lines. You can see it, the front and this other side too. So this is the back. I'll place the front pattern on like this. Then I'll cut out exactly what I have here. No allowance, nothing. Exactly what I have for the front. So I've cut out the back. So I'll do the same thing I did on this part. As you can see, these lines, I'll rule the same thing on the back pattern. So as you can see, I'm done ruling it out. Hope you can see it, because I decided to use my pencil to rule it out. I rule it straight down. Then the same way we rule it straight down, the same way we did this way, we are going to do the same thing on this part. So on this part, we'll measure down 2 inches, 2 inches like this, and we'll rule it all the way down. It's not. So I'll be starting from here. I'll just measure down 2 inches, 2 inches all the way down. I don't want to be confused about it. So with this method, you will not be confused. Just start from this part. Then you start marking 2 inches, 2 inches, like this. Just mark it like this. So you open it up like this and rule it. So as you can see, I've done, this is the front. So this is the front. I've ruled out 2 inches, as you can see. So now I want to do the same thing for the back. So you place the front like this. Why I'm doing it like this is because I want this line that we have at the front, I want the same line at the back. I don't want it to mix up, so that when you're sewing it will be easy to sew. So this is the front. You move it backward like this. Then where you have your lines, you see the lines, you just mark it like this. Transfer it to the back. Where you have your lines, just transfer it. So you just transfer the lines like this, you can see, so that when you rule it will be the same. So after ruling out like this, so the next thing to do is you open it up. So as you can see, I'm done ruling out both the front and the back. So the next thing I'll be doing now, I'll cut the front open. For the back, I'll leave the back like this. I'll just leave the back like this. Then for the front, I'll cut this middle part open. So this is how it looks like. As you can see, this is the front. The front has an opening at the middle. So you can see this is the front. So as you can see, this is the back. I have not cut out the neckline, as you can see. So this is the back. So now we are going to be cutting out the fabric. So the first part we are going to be sewing is this part, the vertical part, this part that goes down like this. And you know that the length of the dress is by 60. So I'll be cutting out my fabric based on the length of the dress. So this is the fabric. I've already cut it out. So the length of the fabric is by 60. So I added extra 2 inches to make it 62, so that I won't have any shortage. So that is the length, as you can see. And the width is the normal width of Ankara fabric, which is 45 inches. So now I'll be cutting out 2 inches like this all the way down, 2 inches. Then I'll cut it straight down. So I'll measure out 2 inches like this. I'll mark it. And I'll cut it straight down like this. So that's the beauty of Ankara fabric. You can easily just tear it down. So this is 2 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut out the other ones. So as you can see, I've cut out the fabric 2 inches. You can see. So the next thing we are going to do is to sew. So we are going to be sewing on this line like this all the way down. As you can see, I've not cut out the neckline. When I'm done, I'll cut it out. So we're sewing like this all the way down. So I'll be showing you on my sewing machine. So I'll take it to my sewing machine, then I'll show you. First of all, you fold this part like this, then this part like this. So this is how we are going to sew it. Then you fold it like this. You can see. So this is how you place it on this line, and we'll sew all the way down. So I'm done sewing, as you can see. So this is the front. So this is how it looks like. Then this is the back. So you can see this is how it looks like, as you can see. So this is the center front. You can see I've not sewn any fabric on the center front. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to follow these lines like this, and we are going to be sewing our fabric just the way we sew this part. We'll follow the same way and sew it like this all the way down. So this is how it looks like after joining, as you can see. So this is the neckline. So this is it. So this is for the front. I'll be showing you the one for the back. So this is for the front, as you can see. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut out the neckline. So I'll cut it out. So I've cut out the neckline. So this is how it looks. So this is the neckline. I've cut out the neckline. So this is the center front. As you can see, we have not done anything on this part. So the next thing you do, you take your fabric like this. Then we are going to sew. We'll sew this part down. We'll also sew this side. You trim out any excess. I will trim out all this excess on this part. Then use my fabric to sew it down. Then after that, I will also sew the bottom. I'll trim out this part, then sew it. So this is how you are going to sew it. I'll be showing you in my sewing machine, but let me just show you. You sew it from here like this. You place your fabric like this, and you sew by half an inch or quarter of an inch. So after sewing, you turn it. After sewing, you turn it to the front and top stitch it. You do it for the side. You do it for the center front, for the side, and also for the bottom. And this line that is here, so I'll use my fabric to complete this part. So you fold your fabric just the same way you did this part. You fold it and complete this part. So this is what I'm trying to explain. You can see I've already sewn this part. See it like this. I've sewn the center front, then this is the side also, and this is the bottom, and I've also completed this part. So this is the back, as you can see. So now this part I will complete it with my fabric. I'll use my fabric to complete this part and also this part. So this is the front. So the next thing we are going to do, we'll place it like this, front facing front. So this is how it will be, front facing front. We are going to sew. Place it like this, then we are going to sew front facing front. Then I'll do the same thing for the other side. So as you can see, I'm done sewing. So this is how you sew it, like this. You can see it. So after sewing it like this, after sewing it like that, you get your fabric, fold it like this, fold it the same way we fold the other parts, fold it the same way we fold the other fabric, like this. Then we are going to top stitch it on this part. You can see, top stitch it on this part like this. Then we'll complete this part. So this is exactly what I did. So this is exactly what I did on this part. You can see, top stitch it. Then after that, you take your fabric and turn the neckline. This is the neckline, as you can see. So use our fabric and turn the neckline. So as you can see, I'm done sewing the neckline. So as you can see, I've turned the neckline. So this is the neckline. You can see I've turned the neckline. So the next thing we are going to do now is to join the sides together. So at this point, if you want it sleeveless, you take your fabric and use your fabric to turn it just the way we turn the neckline. You use your fabric to turn it inside out. Then when you want to join the side, you join it like this. You place this one on top of this and top stitch it all the way down. But for me, I will be adding my sleeve. So before I join this side, I will cut out my sleeve. I will measure what I have here. So that's what I'll be using to cut out my sleeve. So this is the length of the sleeve. So on this part, I will measure down 5 inches. So this is my 5 inches. So the next thing I'll do, I'll just draw an inverted S. Like I said, this is not the only method of cutting sleeve. There are different methods, but for my round sleeve measurement is 16. When you divide it by 2, I have 8. So I don't want it to be tight, so I'll be adding extra 2 inches to it. So I'll be adding extra 1.5. I'll be adding extra 1.5 inches to it. So this is my 1.5 inches. So what you have here on this line, ensure that it's the same thing you have on your armhole. But before we cut out, we are going to be ruling our line. So I'll open it up the same way we did for the other fabric. So I'll measure down 2 inches. So I'll measure down 2 inches, then I'll rule it. I've drawn the line like this. Then we'll do the same thing here. So we measure down 2 inches like this, 2 inches like this, and rule it straight down. I'll do. So this is what we have for the sleeve. So the next thing we are going to do, we'll take the sleeve. You take your fabric like this, you sew it all the way down like this. Then after sewing it like this, you sew it all the way down. Then after that, use your fabric, you turn the edge of the sleeve, you turn the side, and also turn this particular part. So this is the sleeve. As you can see, this is the back. You can see back, all the rough edge has to be covered. So this is the part where I'll be fixing the sleeve. And as you can see, I've also turned this part. All the rough edge has to be covered. Before you do anything, you make sure you cover the rough edge. You can see this part is covered, and the armhole, you use your fabric, you sew it from inside, then top stitch it outside. You sew it. To attach your sleeve, we are going to top stitch it. So this is the middle. You take your middle on this part, then you place it on top like this. You place it on top like this, then you sew. Follow the curve of the armhole. You sew it this way, then you sew the other side. After attaching your sleeve, so after fixing your sleeve on this part, then you sew it like this. You also top stitch. So you place it on top like this. You can see this. Place it on top of this, then you sew all the way down on top like this. So you can see I've done this part of the sleeve. You can see it's very squeezed. You can see it's very squeezed. I fixed the sleeve on this part. You can see it. Sleeve, and out of 6 yards of Ankara fabric, this is what I have left. 22 inches is what I have out of 6 yards of Ankara fabric. So it's like I use almost 5.5 yards for this. And it also depends on your length and your size. So the next thing we are going to do is to tear out the paper from the Ankara fabric. As you can see, I've already started. So I'll continue to tear it out like this. So I will not advise you to use water. Just take your time to remove it like this. So this is the final look. As you can see, very beautiful. I so much love it. You can rock it with any dress of your choice. So guys, please support this channel by liking this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe if you have not subscribed, give this video a thumbs up. So thank you for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Don't forget to turn on your post notification to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.